Hey, welcome to the shop. Today we're gonna go over some stick welding basics, how to strike an arc so that that doesn't happen to you. We're gonna cover everything from basic technique of it, some of the theory behind it, machine settings, and the nuances with different rods, like the challenges with restarting 7018. Let's dive right into it. So let's start off with the basic definition, what I'm talking about when I say striking an arc. Well, I'm talking about touching the end of your electrode to your workpiece to actually start your weld before you hold a gap. Now, a reasonable question is, if it'll jump a gap while you're welding, why do you have to touch it there to begin with? Well, the reason that an arc will work is the air has been ionized, and so you have to start by touching it to create a little spark, which will ionize the air, and then the arc can continue. It's really a pretty cool thing. Okay, so I'm gonna get out a few different types of welding rods. We'll talk about the differences. I got some 6011 here. I'll get out some 6013 and also some 7018. So these are all 1/8 inch electrodes. So the actual diameter of the metal inside is 1/8 of an inch. This is a multi-process welder that'll run pretty much anything you wanna do. Now you might wonder, with all the processes available today, why even stick weld? It's just a really reliable process, especially for thick, heavy stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and set this on our stick welding mode. I'm gonna start off with about 110 amps for our first run with some 6013 to show the basic technique. And here there are a couple other settings that your machine may or may not have. This one is hot start. This gives you a burst of higher amperage when you first strike an arc. That's gonna help you out if you have that available. So I'd turn it up. You know, I've got this around 50%. Arc force, or on some machines like a Miller, call it a dig setting, isn't going to make much of a difference here today, so we won't worry about that. Now, from a technique perspective, the textbook thing to do is to strike like you're striking a match, like that. That's a reasonable way to think about it. Another description is to tap your rod down like that, and also reasonable. But really, you just need to touch it, and it's a matter of getting the feel for it. And from my experience, the lighter you can do that, the better, the less likely it's going to be to stick. See, because if you're jamming it in there, as soon as you start to create a little heat, it's going to want to weld your rod right to your material. So if you can be real light with it, whether you're tapping it lightly or scratching just a little bit, then that's going to work the best. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to brace with my non-dominant hand and then just lightly touch the end. And as soon as I get a small spark, I'm moving away from my material to hold a gap. If you hold too long, or if you hit it too hard, or if you hold still, that's where it's going to stick. But if you just lightly touch it and move, you'll be good to go. So now what do you do if the rod sticks? Now, I'm not like that crazy guy on TikTok. I'll put on a hood before I weld. This is turned off. But if your electrode sticks down, all you need to do is wiggle like this a little, and usually it'll come off. But if it's still stuck after you're wiggling, just open your electrode holder and lift your stinger right off of the end of the rod. Let me show you the end of the electrode after welding with it, because I'm going to use this one again and it won't be brand new. So the center core, or the actual filler, if you notice, has melted back inside of that flux coating, so it's not exposed. So when I go to strike an arc with that, it's not going to work because I have that flux in the way. And so then I'll start banging on it, and then it'll strike an arc where I don't want it to. Well, it's simple with a rod like 6013 here, because I can just take my finger with a glove on it and crunch up that flux. And that's enough to expose a little bit of the end of that rod to be able to start it up again. All right, so you saw that I had to strike just a couple of times. That's because there was still a little bit of flux on there. Next, let's talk about how to transition from striking an arc into running your weld. So the first thing is, don't strike an arc off in, the side of your material where you're gonna see the mark from it. Strike an arc where you're gonna weld over it. So a little bit ahead of the start of your weld. Then once you touch that end of the rod and you start to see a spark, hold a gap immediately. Not too long. This is a 1/8 inch rod. I'll try to hold about a 1/8 inch gap and let that get established while I quickly move to the start of my weld and then maintain that nice short gap. Let me show you. And I'm going to slow this motion down a little bit just to demonstrate the actual technique. So I'll start my arc and then loop around and weld over it. So notice I'm touching, moving back, and welding over, just like that. Now you can do this quite a bit faster, so I'll demonstrate that here next with this pace that I normally would. So here, notice how quick it is. It's just a quick touch, move, and I'm going. Then I'll maintain that short arc length all the way along my weld to make sure that I get something nice and sound. So far, all the welding that we've been doing is with a 6013 electrode. 6013 is a great rod to start with. It runs smooth, a little bit of spatter, but overall it's really forgiving and easy to strike an arc with. But if you have to strike an arc a lot, like when you're tacking projects together, there's a rod that I like better for that. And that one is 6011 right here. So with 6011, I've actually turned my machine down about 10 amps from where it was at with 6013. And with this one, you're not really gonna have to clean that flux off, and it's gonna leave a lot less slag on your tack welds. So it's really good for that. Let me show you. All right, here I'm gonna go ahead and weld a couple of coupons together in a lap joint with some 6011. See when it's stuck, just a little wiggle, broke it loose, we'll try again. So this is a really deep penetrating electrode, which is good to get a strong tack right out of the gate. And the flux on it is just really flimsy. So I can go ahead and jump right in without having to break any flux off. And notice there's almost no slag left on my material. Let's go ahead and take a look at these tack welds. Now you wouldn't generally tack weld, this close together in a row when you're fabricating. This is just a demonstration exercise, but just a light wire brushing is all it took to remove the slag, and I didn't have to stop and break any flux off the whole time that I was working with it. So it's really nice for tack welds like that. 6011. Now the basic technique that we talked about with those first demos applies with any kind of electrode, but there is one little challenge that comes with 7018, and it can make it really frustrating to restart, but once you understand what's going on and how to work around it, it's not too bad. All right, so I have a brand new 7018. The end of the rod there you can see is exposed, and starting this one won't be too bad. Not all that different from the 6013 for the first start. Where you run into problems is on the next restart, because look at that end there. That is a hard glass-like slag. That's not your flux coating, and you're not gonna flick that off with a glove. So no matter how hard you try, that won't strike an arc, and so you can end up sitting here like beating on it and banging on it, and it'll break up eventually, but it's gonna strike an arc right where you don't want it to. So you can like bang it on here. You can use a file just to clean it up, but it's pretty inconvenient. But if you do end up with that slag over the end, you need to do something to clean it up, and honestly, a file is one of your best options. But it's better just to avoid that altogether, and it has to do with how you stop your weld. So when you finish a weld, rather than coming out of it slowly, whip out quickly, and that slag will flick off while it's still molten, and then you'll just have the little bit of flux to break off. So watch this little flick as I terminate the weld. You'll see the slag come flying off, and then I won't have to deal with it later because it'll be out of the way. Now by slinging that slag off, look, it's a lot like 6013, where you just have the bare metal up inside the flux, crunch it up a little with your glove, and you're ready to start again. All right, we've gone over a lot in this video, but if you really want to improve at your welding, you've got to put in some practice, put in the reps. And so get out there, practice this by striking an arc, run for about an inch, and terminate that weld, and then do that again and repeat that 50 or 100 times. And by the end of that, all of a sudden you're gonna be feeling pretty confident. You're gonna go from, I can't do this, you're gonna be sticking a lot in the beginning. By the end, you're gonna be thinking, yeah, this is getting kind of boring. And when it gets boring, it means you're getting good. Now, this is the way that I teach in my online courses. I have some affordable online courses, $39 per course, or you can get all 4 at a deep discount, where I'll teach you step by step the knowledge you need and the practice you need to do every step along the way to learn MIG, TIG, or stick welding. So check those out, linked in the description below. And if you enjoyed this and learned something, let me know by hitting that thumbs up or leaving me a comment. We'll see you next time.